this evening. Really do appreciate your time, having transitioned back from Westmoreland after a long day, a long tour, exploring the challenges that are being faced in those places. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, sir.
All the best.
All right. And that's all the time we have for Lee's story. Please stand by for News at 7 up next.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 12. Thanks for joining us for CVM News at Noon. It's Monday, November 24, 2025. I'm Amoy Harriet. Up first this afternoon, reggae legend Jimmy Cliff, born James Chambers, has died. His family made the announcement on Instagram this morning. He was 81 years old. Culture Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange says Jamaica and the world have lost one of the greatest proponents of Jamaican music and a film pioneer, adding she spoke with his wife and that Cliff's songs and screen work left an indelible global legacy.
Cliff represents a major loss, not just for Jamaica, but for the world. He gave so much of his life to delivering music which had a peculiar and relevant message and resonated in every corner of the globe. I spoke this morning with Jimmy Cliff's wife and conveyed my personal condolences and that of the government of Jamaica following his passing. He died at approximately 1 this morning in hospital. We are deeply saddened at his passing. Jimmy Cliff is no doubt a pioneer of music and must also be appropriately hailed as a legend of our time. His songs, including Many Rivers to Cross, You Can Get It If You Really Want, The Harder They Come, Reggae Night, Hakuna Matata, left a positive impact on millions of people across the globe.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Labour Party, through Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, hailed him as a legend, praising his trailblazing music and the national honours he received, including the Order of Merit and the renaming of the Jimmy Cliff Boulevard. Cliff's voice and artistry shaped generations, the party says, before bidding him to rest well.
Jimmy Cliff is without question a legend. His contribution to global consciousness via his music is of vast significance and tremendous impact. We in the Jamaica Labour Party deeply regret his passing. He was an outstanding Jamaican and global reggae ambassador who was also a trailblazer in creating positive music, which has inspired past generations, is inspiring current generations. And we have no doubt that Jimmy's incredible body of work will continue to resonate with generations to come. We pass on our deepest condolences to his family.
An elderly homeless man in Buff Bay, Portland is drawing concerns from residents in the parish. The once well-known mechanic now spends his days seeking assistance and sleeping in public spaces. Members of staff at the local post office say the situation highlights a growing challenge with homeless individuals who use the facility as shelter. As our reporter Kevin Black now details, there is an appeal for urgent intervention.
This one is not mentally, it's only homeless. So he need help
CVM News recently caught wind of a homeless man in Buff Bay, Portland, who is said to have been sleeping in bus stops and at the post office. Today, our news team caught up with the man himself, and he explained his prevailing plight.
They just I'm blind. And this one I take over. If me hungry, I'm say, brethren, there's never like a problem. I used to ask, what's the problem? I say, there's never get $20 for makeup. You go buy one bulla, and you give me the bulla price. Let's go buy.
Carl Kennedy spent his younger years as a well-known mechanic in Buff Bay, Portland. Now in his 80s, he walks the streets, sleeping in bus stops and the post offices, relying on daily assistance to get by. He insists he does not cause trouble or pose a nuisance to the public. However, a postal worker at the Buff Bay post office, where Mr. Kennedy often sleeps, says the location has become a regular refuge for homeless men, including some who are of unsound mind and have displayed violent tendencies.
This one is not mentally, it's only homeless. So he need help. He sit on a man in time asleep within dogs them. A madman was here, maybe two here or so. He attack us when they come and tell him saying he have to go now in stand up to a place that he in place.
The postal worker is
Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Floyd Green says the damage done to the sector in the wake of Hurricane Melissa is so far just over $30 billion. He made the revelation Sunday during a virtual telethon and concert. Now, over $5.1 million were raised from the first of several fundraising events. Now, Megamart and the Crisis Support Charity have joined forces to deliver critical assistance to communities across all parishes affected by Hurricane Melissa. The partnership was formally launched on Saturday with the introduction of a food drop box at Megamart's Waterloo Road location in Kingston, the first in what will become a network of donation stations at every Megamart store island-wide. The initiative invites shoppers to contribute non-perishable foods and other essential relief items, which will be distributed to families still struggling in the aftermath of the devastating storm. And it's now time for a break, but stay with us more when we return.
They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son up play finals for CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Goal! My son score, my son score, my son score, my son score!
Greatness begins here.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. We're continuing the news. The Westmoreland Fire Department is again sounding the alarm, urging residents not to burn debris or damaged structures left behind by Hurricane Melissa. This renewed warning follows the major fire that broke out in the Cave community on a Thursday afternoon. Now, President of the Westmoreland Chamber of Commerce, Moses Chaibar, is also expressing concern that any form of burning at this time is not only dangerous but potentially life-threatening, given the vulnerability of communities still recovering from the storm.
It doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't smell good to have a lot of garbage around the place.
but we can't resort to taking it into our own hands and lighting fire that we can't control because the risk is too great. What I would like to say though is that some years ago, there were discussions held about a transfer station at George's Plain. And it would make life much easier, I believe, if the garbage could be removed from the streets and temporary placed at that transfer station where it can be compacted, and also garbage has to be separated because right now everything is mixed up with metal and board and all kind of stuff. Not only can that transfer station serve that purpose, but it's a much shorter run for the garbage trucks. So the time it would take them to travel from Westmoreland to the dump, then they could make several trips between wherever the garbage is in the parish to the transfer station, and so would be able to clean up the road, get rid of all of the garbage in a much shorter time.
Now, to revisit an earlier story, Mega Mart and the Crisis Support Charity have joined forces to deliver critical assistance to communities across all parishes affected by Hurricane Melissa. The partnership was formally launched on Saturday with the introduction of a food drop box at Mega Mart's Waterloo Road location in Kingston, the first in what will become a network of donation stations at every Mega Mart store island-wide. The initiative invites shoppers to contribute non-perishable foods and other essential relief items, which will be distributed to families still struggling in the aftermath of the devastating storm.
A lot of these communities will now have, that don't have access, will now have access to nutrition, diapers, food, stuff like that. So the partnership between us and Mega Mart and this Dropbox is very important. And what we implore customers to do as well is that persons can actually come to the store and drop off whatever items they have. They can also purchase items in store and drop in that Dropbox as well. We'll also have a box where persons can purchase vouchers that can be redeemed for items in store that is needed for the persons that are affected. Again, we say a great thank you to Mega Mart for this partnership as we look forward to continue strengthening and feeding persons that were affected.
Let's head to a very short break. When we come back, we'll have our live interview on the other side.
To every step with flooring that blends softness and style. From carpets and rugs to durable vinyl flooring and expert installation services, we have everything you need to transform your space. And when it's time for a refresh, our carpet and upholstery cleaning service brings your flooring back to life. Visit us at 18 Dunbarton Avenue, Kingston, the Carpet Store, because you deserve the best.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get creative.
In need of a loan? AIM Financial is the place to go. We have loans from $20,000 to $3.3 million. Get a loan to pay school or college tuition, medical expenses, bills, fix up your house, buy furniture and appliances, repair or buy a car. And when you're done, take a vacation loan. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Call AIM today. You won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed family of pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed family of pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
It's time!
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio?
We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. Now, after COVID-19, Jamaica struggled to reconnect tens of thousands of students who disappeared from the education system. Now, in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, there are growing concerns that the country could face a similar setback. With dozens of schools now struggling to reopen, the question being asked is how many students will actually return once the doors open again. Joining us now on Zoom for this discussion is President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malavo. Welcome, Mr. Malavo.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Has the JTA identified exactly how many students are currently unaccounted for since Melissa?
No, we would not have done that. That would not be within our remit, really. We do have discussions, however, with our teachers in terms of what their concerns are, and we are picking up. I came out of an interview earlier where we were discussing aspects of that, and the reality is that the students, Melissa has exacerbated the socioeconomic realities of many of these students, and there is some amount of danger with respect to some of these students going missing going forward.
So that discussion, in terms of you saying that, you guys have discussed this, is it a case where teachers are seeing early signs that some students may not return to school even if these schools are repaired?
Yeah, I mean, there are early signs. I had a discussion with a principal out in the western side of the island that was badly damaged by the hurricane, and there are early signs of that. As it is now, there are many schools that are unable to reach to some of these students. Some of these students are in deeply remote areas, and it continues to be a challenge. So they are not able to account for them at this point in time. And given what happened in terms of experiences with COVID-19, those realities are real on the ground.
What have you been hearing from teachers or principals in Kingston? Because I spoke to one principal from a Kingston-based school this morning who told us that 72 of her students have been missing since Melissa. Now, mind you, Kingston was not as badly hit as western parishes. What else have you been hearing from schools in the corporate area?
Well, we have not been concentrating on schools in the corporate area. We heard that as well, that there are some schools in the corporate area that cannot locate their students or who have not returned to school. So the assessment really has to be done on the ground, particularly utilizing the guidance and counseling department. there is going to be a need for home visits, really.
You mentioned COVID earlier, Mr. Malava. Now we know that during that era, those few years starting from 2020, I remember I saw a report in May 2022 that said about 27,000 students were missing from school, even though face-to-face classes had resumed. How concerned are you that history may repeat itself in terms of the high numbers? Because yes, we can admit that perhaps we're going to lose some students, but to this extent, how concerned are you that the numbers will be this high in terms of prolonged absenteeism?
Well, any educator would be concerned in terms of the numbers or the high numbers that may, in terms of students being absent from school. Schools out in the West, for example, many of them, it's going to take a while for them to get up and running. The longer these schools take to get up and running, so it's the more you're going to find the numbers increasing. Again, many of the students tend to be absent from schools because they are from the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum. Melissa